Hey, welcome to another episode of GeekOutdoors.com. So Fistful of Vengeance is the sequel to Wu Assassins Season 1. And in this case, we have things happening a year after those previous events. And we have the returning characters of Kai, which is played by Iko Uwais, and also Louis Tan, who plays Lou, and Lawrence Cole, who plays Tommy. And in this case, they head over to Bangkok because Tommy feels like this is where his sister's killers are. And so that's kind of like the overall general story. And in the mix, we have this whole fantasy elements of demigods trying to take over the world. And it's up to the Wu Assassins and his friends and new friends to actually stop this. And so that is really the overall basic story of this movie. Now, getting into the things that I did like about this film is first and foremost, Iko Uwais. Iko is one of my favorite action movie stars ever since I saw him on The Raid 1, The Raid 2, The Night Comes For Us, and his very first Indonesian film, Manfrotto, and other movies like Headshot. And not only is Iko an amazing martial artist, but he also has a very charismatic acting ability, which I really feel continually gets better over time. And also, this movie, he speaks a lot of English, and so even his English speaking ability is also improving. Now, the second thing this film does well is basically the variety of action. In the 1 hour and 30 plus minutes of runtime, there's a lot of action in this. And you get action from hand-to-hand combat, knives, guns, cars, and of course, the fantasy action elements as well. And then the final thing I would say I did enjoy about this film is the location. You know, this is set in Bangkok, Thailand. So whenever it's set in this type of environment, you can have a lot more fun in terms of the type of action that you can have. And Bangkok is a great place for a lot of action movies. So that's just my own personal preference on locations. And those are like the overall things that I did enjoy about this film. For serious YouTubers, check out TubeBuddy, the premier tool news at GeekOutdoors.com. Get more done today by checking out the affiliate link in the description area below. Now, getting to the things that I did not like about this film is first the story itself. So this is very similar to the whole Wu Assassin story where they combine martial arts and fantasy. And even though this can be done well, in this case, it's just really boring. You know, you basically have these group of people who tries to stop this all-powerful demigod type of character, and they're basically trying to stop him from destroying the world. And we've seen this so many times before, and this one just doesn't execute it well. And most of the times I was actually bored with the story, which leads me to the second thing, and that is the action. Even though there is a lot of action and a variety of action, it's just overall boring. You know, it seems very mechanical, the way in which they fight. And it's really surprising since you have so many veteran action stars here. And if you watch any of the original movies that these action stars have been in their native countries, then those are so much better. And if you are a fan of action films and you see some of the actors and actresses in this, then you'll know that their action is way better than what's displayed here. And so that was really disappointing because that's the main reason why I think most people would come here. But in this case, the action is just not exciting and it's very predictable and boring overall. And that's definitely not something that you want to say about an action movie. And I'd say the final thing that I didn't enjoy about this film is just the characters themselves. Even though I really enjoy Iko Uwais as an actor, the way in which the characters were written here for Kai, for Lou, Tommy, Priya, and Zama, they were just not interesting. And then when you talk about the villains, well, let's just say they were extremely forgettable. And so that's something that definitely does not help this film. When you have characters that overall you don't really care about, they're very cookie cutter and overall not memorable at the least. And those are my thoughts on Fistful of Vengeance. I would say very similar to Wu Assassins. This is disappointing overall, especially with the amount of talent that you have here. And so if they do decide to make another movie or series in the Wu Assassin world, I don't think I'm going to be returning because I've already seen 2 of them in this entire world and they were just not good overall, at least for me. If you actually have any thoughts on this or if you want to see my original review of the Wu Assassin Season 1, I'll leave that in the description area below. And if you did want to see more of my action film reviews, I do have an entire playlist. I'll leave that in the description area below. So as always, if you did get value out of these videos, be sure to share, like, and subscribe. And if you're a creative geek like me, and you want to get exclusive access to more content that I don't put out here publicly on my YouTube channel, then join my Gold Content Creators Group, where you're going to get content like this and more for all the creative geeks out there. And the best part is, all of this is free. Simply head over to the link below, check out my page, and sign up for my Gold Content Creators group.